Yeah, the stock market. Stock market has lost $5 trillion in 3 weeks. Yes, Trump, he's the Ozempic of the economy. Wow. 5 trillion. Today, Greenland offered to buy us.
Bill Maher doesn't hold back in his latest rant, comparing Donald Trump running the economy to handing a toddler the nuclear codes, except the toddler might have better instincts. Maher rips into Trump's so-called business genius, exposing how the economy tanked the moment he took control. From absurd policy flip-flops to cozying up to billionaires, Maher's got the receipts, and they're brutal. Did Trump really think bankrupting casinos was just the warm-up for wrecking America? Maher's jokes land harder than inflation under Trump's leadership. You won't believe what he says next. Stay tuned.
One thing we've known about Trump for quite a while is that in the world, the countries that we traditionally liked, like England and France, those kind of places, he doesn't really like. And the people that we traditionally didn't like Saudi Arabia and Russia, he likes. For example, there's I'm sticking with the Union, the former Soviet Union. Unlike some people, he always says thank you. Europe, your ancestors left for a reason.
Donald Trump loves slapping his name on everything from cheap steaks to shady universities and gold-plated toilets. But according to Bill Maher, the only numbers Trump actually knows how to manage are the ones on his golf scorecard. And even those are a bit questionable. The moment Trump got his ketchup-stained fingers on the economy, it didn't just decline. It plummeted off a financial cliff faster than one of his bankrupt casinos. Maher's take: Trump's economic expertise is a total disaster.
Let's talk about how the Republicans have changed.
Oh.
You said in your special, Trump got the White House again, but he's not going to get your mind.
Yeah.
How's that resolution holding up?
Not that well. I gotta say it lasted. Yeah. I also said I wouldn't pre-hate anything, which is true. I didn't pre-hate, but boy, does the hate come around quickly. Mm-hmm. I mean, has it been only a month? Yeah.
It's been 1 month.
1 month.
1 month.
I mean, I made a list. Like, here's what I already hate. Here's things I don't hate yet. There are things that, like the idea that Gaza could be Dubai instead of this hellhole that it's been. Other people have suggested that by way of us taking it over. No. Starting a new American empire. No, this insanity of Zelensky as the dictator and
outrageous
this opposite day kind of shit with the Western Alliance. So that resolution is being bad.
If you're enjoying this, don't forget to subscribe. Bill Maher wastes no time exposing the financial circus that was Trump's economic leadership. Remember that magical era when giving tax cuts to billionaires was supposed to help the middle class? All it really did was give Jeff Bezos more yacht money, while the average American debated which kidney to sell to afford gas. Let's be real. When a guy who ran multiple businesses into the ground tells you he's going to make the economy great, maybe don't trust him. It's like asking a raccoon to go.
Trump says, I like reading as little as possible. I don't need, 200-page reports on something that can be handled on a page. He's actually proud that he makes decisions without learning anything, which makes him the perfect president for a nation perpetually looking at its phone.
Of course, Trump insisted the economy was booming under his watch. And sure, it was great for hedge fund managers, corporate CEOs, and anyone selling MAGA merch outside his rallies. Meanwhile, everyday Americans watched their wages stagnate, healthcare costs skyrocket, and rents soar faster than Trump's legal bills. But according to him, everything was perfect, amazing, the best economy ever. It's kind of like when Trump claims he's the fittest president in history, only to chow down on a cheeseburger with his bare hands like a raccoon digging through a dumpster. The reality:
watch out for Canada, the quiet, polite neighbor you never suspect. I want you to cut dictators some slack.
Bill Maher didn't hold back, ripping into the absurdity of Trump's economic policies. He pointed out how the so-called business genius ran the country exactly like he ran his casinos, straight into the ground, with a fat bankruptcy at the end. The man lost money running a casino, Asterisk a casino asterisk. That's like failing a breathalyzer test at an oxygen bar. It takes a special kind of talent to turn a business model designed to print money into a total financial disaster. Yet somehow, he applied that same brilliance to America's economy. The results? A national debt explosion, rising living costs, and so much economic uncertainty it could make a stockbroker cry. Let's talk about those famous tax cuts. Trump promised they'd be a game changer for the middle class. Spoiler alert, they weren't. In Trump's world, middle class means anyone who owns at least one private jet. He handed out tax breaks to the ultra-rich like they were loyalty points at a failing casino, while the average American got just enough of a break to afford a second helping of ramen noodles. But don't worry, according to Trump, the money was going to trickle down eventually. Oh, and Trump University would give people a real education, right?
What he's trying to tell us by continuing to do this dance. And now, making YMCA his anthem.
In reality, corporations use their tax windfalls for stock buybacks, not higher wages. Meanwhile, regular folks saw their tax refunds shrink like a cheap t-shirt in the wash. But hey, Trump made sure billionaires could keep dodging taxes with loopholes big enough to drive a gold-plated limo through. And let's not forget, those tax cuts weren't permanent for the middle class. By 2027, they'll be paying more, while the ultra-rich keep raking it in. Classic Trump: sell the fantasy, cash in on the reality, and leave the mess for someone else to clean up. Bill Maher had a field day pointing out Trump's obsession with the stock market. In Trump's mind, if the Dow Jones was up, the economy was perfect. But here's the problem: the stock market isn't the economy. That's like saying your Instagram likes determine your health. Just because rich people were getting richer didn't mean regular workers were doing better. In reality, wages were stagnant, healthcare was a nightmare, and housing was so unaffordable that even monopoly players were going broke. Yet Trump kept pointing at the stock market like it was some magic scoreboard. When the market crashed, crickets. No word from him, just a string of tweets blaming everyone else. If there's one thing Trump's good at, it's dodging responsibility for his own mess. No 7. Then there's the trade war. Oh boy. Watching Trump negotiate international trade agreements was like watching a guy haggle over bootleg DVDs in a parking lot. Bill Maher had no problem reminding everyone that Trump's big idea to fix trade was slapping tariffs on everything that moved, without a clue about how tariffs actually work. Here's the thing: when you tax imports, American businesses and consumers pay the price. It's like setting your own house on fire and calling.
Yes, it turns out that the stock market has really kind of rejected the notion that if we turn on our trading partners, chickens would lay more eggs. Yeah, I mean, when Biden was president, it was everything about the eggs, the price of eggs. We got to lower the price of eggs. And now Trump retweeted somebody last week who said, "Shut up about the eggs."